Just hitching a ride back over to the Lightning Planet. Been doing a little bit of goofing around on Novice, and I figured it's time we probably should progress a little bit with the science. Hello, everybody. This is Frogman. Welcome back to Factorio Space Age. I've done a little bit of work in between episodes, just kind of messing around with some stuff and building out our new base on Aquilo, which we're going to go take a look at very quickly. The progress process problem with that planet is just being able to build usable surface area to be able to build on. So that stuff takes a long time. That the whatever this stuff is, the platform, where did it go? This stuff right there. That 50 ice is kind of hard to get a hold of. I mean, it's not hard to get a hold of, but the ratio between 400 ammonia and 500 or 50 ice is a kind of an interesting problem. So we shall see when we get over there. Anyhow, let's pop down to Fulgora. Hey, no, go, let me out. Thank you. Goofy game. It's fine. Go back and do what you need to do. We've been doing science and building out a little bit of the research. So I've kind of got it paused for the moment because we need to start contemplating doing some other things since we're going to get over here and we should be able to start working on some of the Aquilo research, but I've done a little bit. So we're now at about 140K for the scrap productivity, or 150%, 140%. Our mining effects, I do believe here, 110, 120. I need to do some more of this research. I've been doing a little bit of just back and forth and trying to keep certain things from, expiring on other planets like the Gleba. I keep fiddling with this one. I had the power, or I should say, I had the science shut off, and then I realized that essentially that is a bad idea. You want to just keep this going because, again, your trash can is this stuff rotting, regardless of whether it's in here or not, or whether you're capable of using it as fast as you possibly can. Your trash can here to keep these things from becoming a problem, and I mean these things from becoming a problem, is to continuously produce it and then let it rot off the belts. Let me see, that's going to be over there. Yes. So I just needed to kind of, while we were sitting here, wander up real fast and look around. I don't see any new critters. I've had to continuously keep coming up here and cleaning up some of the mess. This is a bug. This is just a bug. As far as I know, it's a graphical glitch. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, we're okay and clear. We should be able to do a little bit of science today. Now, what I wanted to do is I was sitting here playing around doing some research, and I ran out of certain things because this box is full of stuff that I don't need it to be full of. So we're going to take all of those, and I think I have a bunch up here. Thank you very much. And I'm going to take them over. I don't need those anymore either. Yeah, I think we're good. We're going to take these over here very quickly, and then we're going to start talking about Aquilo, because I need to kind of start looking at a couple of things over here. We're about ready to transition to this island, so I've got it set up ready to go. Where I forget, not much in here now, about 18K for scrap, and then I will be demolishing this island and that rail line and dumping it in over here. So as far as these go, we've just about got everything where I think I want it to be. I'm going to start making, like I said, I'm not making the epic scrappers just yet, or recyclers, whatever the heck these things are called, mainly because I'm not quite ready to do it. But as far as everything over here is concerned, we have a decent amount of epic modules put around, so that everything over here that's important has got epic in it, and we're just going from there. So not really worried about this stuff. That doesn't really matter as far as those go. And yeah, we're just kind of cranking along. I am hauling in copper and iron and coal over here so that we can produce as much epic stuff as we can. So I got a whole bunch of epic plastic, and we're slowly but surely cranking through a lot of iron and a lot of copper ore to slowly crank out an occasional epic iron plate and an epic copper plate, just so that we can kind of supplement this mess. This is still an incredibly slow process, understanding the fact that you can't add any kind of beaconing to these things or you ruin its productivity for the epics. So that's kind of one of those things. You got to pay attention to it. And I mean, I guess I could be shipping the parts that is required to make the, where are they? Foundries. I could be shipping all of those parts, or creating all of those parts back on Vulcanus, right? We could be crafting all those parts on Vulcanus to be epic at this point in time, and you know, all that kind of fun things. But again, you're talking about this 1 in 18% chance. Well, yeah, it's an 18% chance, even if you had all of the stuff to set up. So again, it's just an awful lot of little bitty, very rare parts to be able to even get to that point. So that may be something we'll do at the end of the series. I might sit down and rebuild this whole mess and do a little bit of goofiness. But for now, you go in there and start getting scrapped, and hopefully that'll bring us a whole bunch of random junk up so that we can have a little bit of fun times with it. I need to get another chest. Oh, right. I don't have. Can I have? Do I have? Is there stuff over here to do so? Go in there. Go in there. Everybody just get trashed. Those will probably back the line up for a little bit. It's not a big deal. These things are cranking through stuff so quickly now it doesn't even matter. So we should be good for a couple of at least hours of gameplay to play around. But yes, it's been an interesting kind of a problem. I've gone ahead and done a little bit of goofing around. I need to actually bring these over with us. We now have a mech armor epic, which now has a reasonable amount of epic stuff in it. We're getting there. Made a few of these, and now that I have a mech armor epic, I actually have room to start putting some tool belts things in here. This one was kind of fun because of the fact that once you got everything put in here, you still had a line of a single wide line in here, which I guess we have a corner that I could put like a solar panel or something in there. But we now have a lot of battery storage. I was able to stuff another portable fusion reactor in here, and as we need to go fight things, what I do, or what I can do, is I can pull out like a personal roboport and one of these and drop in a bunch more of these laser defenses. I'm going to have to make a bunch of those, but right now, I'm not really worried about it because pretty much every place we're going to is not going to be too bad. So I want to bring these over here, drop them in a rocket, and then we're going to hitch a ride on Endurance and go back over to Aquilo. So let's wait on it to get here, and we should be good to go on that. Right? I think so. I don't know still. We'll find out. You guys go in there. Alrighty, we're taking a nice boat ride over here. I want to go ahead and upgrade a couple of these while we're at it. So this to there, go. Can I just get you to drop on top of that and that and that, and then you there, there, there. Okay, that'll give us a little bit more speed, a little bit more production. The water is the problem, mainly because the well, we're using the water up here now so that we can craft the, so we can craft coal, so we can craft the explosives. It's just one of those little bitty problems, and I guess I could go ahead and upgrade that one too. Let's see. Boop. And this will go a little faster then, since you have productivity in you. I mean, this is where the magic starts with that, I suppose, is the fact that you can do that kind of stuff with it. So, you know, is what it is. But anyhow, to Aquilo, we have a long way to go. We're still running 3 engines on this one because I'm trying not to get, well, trashed by these massive asteroids. Alrighty, let's go take a look at the work that I've been doing on Aquilo. This is an interesting planet. It's been a little bit of fun. So as we drop in, you guys are going to notice the map's a little different because we've been slowly building platforms here and getting things ready for the next step in the science process. I'm going to go ahead and just have them give me the stuff for the minute. This planet sucks because of how cold it is, and I'm not going to lie. It absolutely sucks because of how cold it is. It destroys the usability of your robots by quite a lot. They have to recharge continuously. They can't go very far. They're like if you just watch them. I didn't ask for a lot. I mean, they're just going to fill up my inventory with all the stuff that we've got laying around. But they, like every robot we've got at this point in time is now, well, having a heck of a time. So actually, that was one of the things I did want to do is I know I should have brought. Did I not put those in there? I need to get some more of these going. You guys go ahead, bring me back a bunch of bots from Fulgora, please. And we're going to start adding in, because the only way to increase productivity with the bots, or at least their speed, is by just putting a whole lot more down. but they are definitely having a hard time dealing with a lot of the things going on. So anyhow, we've I forget exactly where the heck we were earlier on. I've gone and tried to move away from as much bot logistics as possible for now as I can. So we've moved the fuel production, I should say, I've moved all of the ice and ammonia production into belts and pipes and whatnot. The fuel is then being dumped into a thing here in case we need it. So if I have to drag something from somewhere, we'll be able to use the storage chest to deliver stuff, and then it's being belted into our heating towers. The heating towers are keeping this area warm. We're setting everything to 300C now because we need to kind of run a little bit of distance on them. 300C seems to get quite a bit of a distance because it's going clear the heck up here, thank goodness, and working. So we're at about 40 something up here right now, which is fine, 50, 60, whatever. I need to give it a little bit more, looks like. That's great. That needs to be adjusted, and yeah. What the? Anyhow, I'm going to have to come up here and turn those up a little bit. I don't think they're going to get much hotter. We might have to turn these up a little more. But you can kind of do things like this to make it work, to where if you're not trying to cart things too far, you can. Go. Make more heat, fellas. Anyhow, we're trying to keep a few things heated, and I suppose I probably should go ahead and get rid of that line. But anyhow, so we've started to harvest a little bit of the fluorine because we need to do a bunch of science, and I've laid out a small process plant kind of thing so that we can start working through the next level of science. Whether or not I have enough materials at this point to make it work, I'm not 100% certain on, but we at least now have an idea as to how this particular science is going to work. So Aquilo Cryogenic Science packs, as I said in the end of last episode, these are a pain, and the reason why they're a pain is because they have a recirculating a leftover, and I always love it when we have a leftover to play with. So we're going to talk about how we get there, and then we're going to turn this whole system on because I haven't turned it on. I've made a little bit of stuff, but we have not plugged in the two things that we needed. So what we need in order to be able to make the Aquilo science and the Aquilo parts is we're going to have to start with the lithium process. So let's just start with the lithium process. The end of last episode, we started by, ended by making these, what the heck they call these things? Cryogenic plants. Cryogenic plants are kind of a pain. They don't have, they don't have any native productivity. So that means it's just like a really, really, really big chemical plant. They're just a big chemical plant that uses 9 times the amount of fluid or power. So if you look at it here, the crafting speed on this is 2, crafting speed on this is 1. Max consumption of power on these things is 2.17 kilowatts. Max consumption on these is 1.5 megawatts, or like 6 times the power, and they cover almost double the space. I mean, I think they're actually, I figured is that they're like 3 times the space, and there's no benefit for them, at least outside of them having 8 module slots. Now that's a kind of a fun thing. They have 8 module slots, which means theoretically you don't necessarily have to do stupid things with beacons. You can just do something like this and then do something like this. Well, I mean, it won't take those, and you can then speed them up drastically. But the point is, once again, part of the fun about beacons is the fact that a beacon, which if you look at a beacon's only going to ever use 480 kilowatts of power, period. That's all it's ever going to use, so you can kind of play around with making that a little better. The deal is, in this particular production area, I don't have room for the beacons. That's why this is an important thing. So if you want to speed them up and if you want to add productivity to them, you can do it natively inside the machine, and it will, work decently well. The reason why you don't have room is if you look at it right here, you can see everything in this world has to be heated to a reasonable amount, or else it freezes and stops working. And I mean to a point where, like right here, the heat only goes 1 block away from the edge of a pipe. So like this heat pipe here, I'm only allowed 1 block circular to that particular thing. So like right here, if I put that down, that's what it looks like. This whole area, it boop, 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 boop. That's the area that it covers. That's it. So if you can't get to those areas, wow, what am I doing? If you can't get to those areas, then you're not really going to be able to do a whole heck of a lot, which is why you see goofy things like this and that and all the stuff. Anyhow, what we're going to try for here, or what I'm going to aim for, is about 300 research per minute. That's all I want, just so that we can get through this stuff. So cryogenic cryogenic science packs require ice, lithium plates, and fluoroketone cold. Let's talk about the lithium, because lithium is pretty simple. We'll just start from the top up here and work our way down. That stuff is coming from here. Lithium brine is coming from these pump jacks down on this little island. They're not making an awful lot. They're making something like, I forget what it is, 16 a second as far as the lithium brine is concerned. That is being stuffed into these chemical plants that are also being given a little bit of the ammonia that we're making up here. Those 4 plants make an awful lot of ammonia, but the problem is they make what you would consider either your ice is a waste product or your ammonia is a waste product. So you need to be able to throw them away as quickly as possible. I've got a trash can built into the system here that is monitoring this belt that should be cramming as much ice into a couple of recyclers as we possibly can, just to keep things moving. The ice will get used, it won't really matter. So part of that is we also need a little bit of holmium plate. So holmium plate we're hauling in from Fulgora. It's coming onto a belt and getting dumped out onto a little bit of a belt weave, because that's the only way I can keep this working. I mean, I suppose there's probably 100 other ways you can do it, but that's fine. That gets dumped out onto a belt, again, all heated into a process where we're taking the lithium plates and we're, doing the stuff with the furnace. This is the only way to make lithium plates unless you want to burn fuel, which is fine. That's then delivered down onto a belt. It comes down here to the area where we're going to start playing around with the fun stuff, which is fluoroketone. Fluoroketone, however you want to say it. You produce it in a cryogenic plant, which doesn't make any sense because a cryogenic plant has cryo in its name, which means it should be producing cold things, but maybe it needs cold to produce things, whatever. This comes out as hot, or 180 C. We then have to cool it using cryogenic plants to cool it down to, I guess, minus 150 C. Somehow that's not melting or freezing in the pipes, but maybe the stuff goes. I'll have to go look and see what fluoroketone is. I'm assuming that's a real thing. Who knows? Anyhow, in order to produce what we need about 9 of the plants to produce that stuff. This, all it needs, again, is a little bit of the fluorine that we're gathering from up on top, up here, over here, and a little bit right there. And did we thaw those out? Are they getting warmer up here? Slowly. Numbers are going up. Numbers are going up. So this should unthaw shortly. 31, 30, 30. They need to be 30 C before they, what did we figure? 28, 30 C before it, thaws out. So once that gets over that point, then it'll push its way that direction. It's fine. It's not a big deal. We're okay. Anyhow, those are producing hot fluoroketone. We then have to cool fluoroketone. Now this is a 1-for-1 thing until something else happens. So this produces something like, 50 fluoroketone hot. These will cool 50 fluoroketone. Now that's up, 10 to 15, whatever. It's the same difference. They're pretty much a 1-for-1 deal here. So if you look at it as 10 seconds and like 4 seconds, whatever, it doesn't really matter. The thing is we end up with an off product. We end up with an off product here of hot fluoroketone when we make the science. So if we look at the science, we get 1 science pack and 3 fluoroketone hot, which means 6. We pump in 6, we get back 3. So we're recirculating the hot back into the system to be cooled, and we're using part of it. So in reality, I think I needed something like 120 fluoroketone cold, and we're going to make 90 of it and recycle back the other 30 or whatever it is that we needed. That is also going to require some ice. It's going to require some lithium plates, and of course we went ahead and this, like I said, this area has been a royal pain in the butt because this ice is such a pain to make that I ended up having to do a kind of a flip just so that I could get this in here. I'm still going to have to build this island up to make it even bigger than it currently is. How much stuff do we owe? Yeah, I probably should start building more process in here, but that's fine. We're going to keep extending the platform just a little bit here. I'm just going to do this for a second. There. But yeah, we're going to have to start working on that a little bit. I need to move this down because I ended up with a rather big nightmare in this corner trying to get all of this stuff through, because you literally have to have like every square covered with either the heat pipes or the belts or whatever. So anyhow, on to the end of this. I have got 2 speed modules in this. Theoretically, you can just double this lineup and build it across, and I will probably eventually do that once I get a little bit of this, once I get this basically out of the way. So essentially I'm going to just keep shoving this probably down. We're just going to keep building it downwards and downwards and downwards and downwards, because I want to keep the heat from this system separate from the heat from this one. Although we're getting to the point fairly soon where it won't really matter. We're probably going to be running everything at like 500 C anyway. Oh, right, this system's connected to that one. I need to, 1 second, click, and go, 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 go. Okay. It's going to get to the point where all the systems are going to be 500C. I just want to try to keep the power, you know, from having any connectivity at all with the rest of it. All right, so what we need to do then is we need to go ahead and plug this mess in. This should all work. I just don't know how good it's going to work. I think I'm going to be a little short on the lithium and the lithium plate production based on the fact that this is all of the lithium brine we have. I may end up having to go find the next nearest island, wherever the next nearest island is that has that stuff on it. It's probably going to be this one, and run a train or something over to here and see. I don't know. We're going to find out. Let's go ahead, plug it in, and let's go see what it does, and hopefully it works. Boop. That's what I was concerned of. I might need to make a pump over here somewhere. Somehow, some way, I might need to put a pump over here just to make sure that it's pushing the stuff back. We're out of ice. Of course we're out of ice. Make ice. Why are we out of ice? We shouldn't be out of ice. Oh. My thing broke. Because I'm an idiot. Hang on a second. Alrighty then. Again, like I said, it's such a royal pain in the tail to try to keep this stuff working the way you want it to work, because it's just, you gotta keep thinking about whether or not something's gonna freeze or not. So I did remove one of those. You guys can go, oh dang, I didn't want to do that. Whatever, it's fine, we'll find them later. Okay, so now that should slowly but surely push stuff out. So that's going to need 0.6 ice a second. This is going to be delivered to here, which is going to be here, and we now have some Cryogenic Science packs. Endurance, your new job is going to be collecting here, not and anymore. Add weight condition. I need item count, and we're going to pull cargo on as far as Cryogenic Science packs. I want you to greater than or equal to 1,000. We'll start with that, and then we'll go from there. I think that's what I did. No, I did less than. Whatever. No, it's greater than. Anyhow, and I need to also request in here. Nope. Add a section here just for now. Cryogenic Science packs and 1,000. And we'll let those go and see it hopefully work. Is everybody running? Everybody's running. Now, like I said, I may end up needing to place a valve in, or a valve in, a pump in somewhere in here so that it will understand that I want it to pull the fluid off of these first. Now, granted, the pipes have been very much improved over the many years, but I do need to make sure that it eats up everything in the machines down here first before it uses this stuff. So they're all nice and full, and we'll just see how that goes. So technically now, once this is all running, as long as we're producing enough ice, which we should be now, and we're producing enough fuel, and we're doing a couple of other things, as long as this is going to be sufficiently decent enough for production, we should have in here, 30 per minute. So this should slowly crank up and get better, theoretically. So I'm going to let this run for a little while, and I will see you all, because I want to do at least one of these, because once Endurance picks up a couple of this stuff and sends it back to Fulgora, then Eagle 5 will deliver a line of stuff for us to go over there as well. So essentially all we're going to do is we're going to daisy chain this stuff back to Novice. Hopefully. Alright, Endurance has picked up its first load of 1,000 Cryogenic Science. This is going to take a long time to get through a lot of this, because we're going to have to play with all of the back and forths between this stuff. So we're going to go ahead here and request 1,000 of that stuff just to get it done. We'll pick up here. I want you to request all 1,000 of it. We'll up these numbers as we go, because, you know, it's just going to be something that we'll just have to do. This is going to take a long time. This is one of those things that I fully understand will take a decently long time. I want this to then become, let's see, we're going to say you are going to be a logistical filter for this, and you can get set to this, and I need you to be this in here. Go. Thank you very much. Use the filter. You go in there. We're going to go ahead and just have it dump those so that they don't need to be there wherever. This is just basically kind of a scrap pile for various things that happen, and everything kind of goes nuts. Now, Eagle 5, I need you to request from Fulgora 1,000 of this stuff. From Fulgora. And I want you to, this will start having to deal with both of those, but that's fine, no big deal. Everything should be good there. It's going to run back to Fulgora. By the time it gets there, this should be there, or getting pretty close to being there. So this will throw the stuff off. It'll turn around and get, you know, after it loads up all the little pieces that I want it to load up, it will then run back over to Aquilo, pick up another 1,000 science, and if this can't be kept up, then we'll keep these numbers going up and up and up. So let's see, how much do we have here? We're looking at almost another 1,000. So in the last couple of minutes, we have been producing about 120 a second. That is not where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be at least double that, but we'll see how we're going. If I need to, I will throw in some more of these, but we're going to have to kind of start worrying about power, because power is getting where it needs to be. Anyhow, we'll just keep running and we'll see how this goes. You should be good to go here. You have this requested, Novice. I want you to come back over here and request 1,000 of that, so that we can start in on doing the research once it gets here, because again, I'm probably going to either do that or that right off the bat. It doesn't really matter, but I have a long time to get through a bunch of stuff. I really am very interested in that particular research, because that will allow me to move the captive biter spawners, which means I can go out into the wild. Map Novice can go out into the wild out here and collect another 2 or 3 or 4 more of those things, and then bring them back, because we're going to need the biter eggs eventually to do a lot more than what we're currently doing. So I'm going to let this run. I think if anything, what I might do is try to figure out another spot to place some power and move this out of the way so I can get rid of some of this horrific stuff, because what I may end up needing to do, just looking at the way this is working, I may have to pull this belt over to the actual rocket silo, and it's probably just a heck of a lot easier to move all of this down and put it somewhere else. So we did have to double up on the fuel production here, because I did kind of screw up and ran completely out of the fuel when I set everything up to 400C or whatever it was here. When we did that on camera, that broke that broke the power, and that broke the science. So I will let this run for a little while, and I will see you all once we have enough stuff to do some things. Wow, I got completely lost for a second there. I could not figure out where the heck the dang Cryogenic Science packs went. It's because it's just the machine managed to grab it before we could even get to it. Alright, so the big problem here is I have all these belts and everything else set up ready to go on some of this other stuff, and there's no way to get them in there easily. So we're going to do this the dumb way, which is the way I should have done it a long time ago, and it's fine. But it's alright, we're going to go ahead and just do a simple, quick, easy thing, about like so, here. And then we're going to grab a requester chest here, here, and here. I need to power things because, of course, they're clear the heck out of the way. Yeah, just do that. We won't care. We'll come back and fix this later. It's gonna be one of those fix it later kind of deal. Later on, Frogman can deal with this. I want you to request 200, or excuse me, now 50 of those. And then I want to go boop, boop, and boop. And that'll kind of more or less evenly spread it out across all of those. We'll let them slowly eat it up. It's fine, we have plenty of bots. I'm probably got way too many bots. I need to put a few more charging positions over here for them, though, if that's what they're going to need to do. We can put one of those right there, and there, and there, and there. That way they've got plenty of room. And kick it off, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and research the quantum processor. Go! That is probably going to utterly tear through all of our agricultural science packs, but we're getting a little low on some of these. Need to get used. Let's just put it like that. They need to get used pretty badly. Yeah. This is a 120-second research, so this won't take very long at all. And there goes 1,000 research with cryogenics. We now have the quantum processor unlocked. Quantum processors are going to be crafted with a whole bunch of random crap, and of course we're going to have to make more fluoroketone stuff. Lovely, a whole bunch of things. We're going to have to start importing things from all over the place. So that means this is where the fun part goes with some of this, because that is the end game portion of doing stuff. Promethium science packs are going to be something we're going to have to play with quite a bit, but in order to be able to make some stuff, we're going to have to get there. Anyhow, let us do a little bit more research. I am going to probably in between episodes blow out all of this excess stuff that we have now, so we have the ability to be able to, well, research and craft captive biter spawners. We can pick those things up. We already had a meeting. We can move them. We can, I guess, hatch eggs into captive spiders and spawners and place them anywhere. We'll now be able to get to the legendary quality stuff. I'm going to hold off probably on that one for a little while, because everything we have built right now is epic and it's working okay. It's just as soon as you research a new quality, you start producing it. And I want to kind of gather a few more things up before I start dealing with the next level of quality, so we'll probably hold off on this for a while. But yes, we now have fusion reactor capability. We now have the foundations, which this is something, go ahead and immediately start researching that right now. Foundations are going to be a big deal for us, because that will allow us to build on the lava on Vulcanus. We'll be able to place stuff down here, which means I'll be able to get rid of some of this random stuff that's all over the place. That will allow us to build on the oil oceans on Fulgora, so that will allow us to do a lot more stuff. And how are we going? Are we almost done with this one? I have 8,000 scrap left on that one before I move over here, and we're going to go from there. So Aquilo has been making roughly 120 science cryogenics packs per minute. I'm going to probably, well, I've been building it right here. I was waiting on a load of this to come in so that I can build a little bit more space. We're going to go ahead and double down on all of the power that we have. We're going to double down on a lot of the other stuff that we've got going on, and I'm going to go ahead and double down on this line down here so that we can be making at least 300 science of this stuff per minute. So until then, I will see you all later. We have Aquilo Science going. We have a small kind of cruddy little island going that's going to hopefully grow and get a little better as we go on, and yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope everybody had a good New Year's and a happy Christmas and all those kinds of fun things, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.